What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Goldberg using his backstage power to squash the Fiend, the true reason why Ripley dropped the belt, DDP praises the Bray Wyatt John Cena WrestleMania match, has the Undertaker retired his Deadman persona, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But let's waste no further time and get straight into the first story, as Goldberg used his backstage power to squash the Fiend. Okay, we've probably mentioned about 103 times by now that fans weren't happy about the Fiend dropping the title to Bill Goldberg. Well, it seems that this wasn't the original plan. Plans were in place for the Fiend to go over, but Goldberg lobbied backstage to change this at the 11th hour. News site WrestleZone reports that Goldberg didn't want to risk damaging his image and that younger fans needed to see him be victorious. What utter crap. Most fans who even remember Goldberg in his prime probably aren't even watching now, and current fans were actually behind the Fiend retaining, building up his momentum further. It was certainly a poor choice and something that nearly even killed the Fiend's gimmick. But according to WrestleTalk, that was Goldberg's final match under his current deal, so whomever was going to replace Reigns, original plans even involved Jeff Hardy replacing Roman Reigns, they were going to leave with the title. Next up, is this the true reason why Ripley dropped the title to Charlotte Flair? What is the story behind Rhea Ripley's loss to Charlotte Flair? While there was talk that the WWE wanted Charlotte Flair to win in the hope of boosting NXT's ratings, PW Insider is reporting Ripley may be gone from NXT for some time due to travel issues. Ripley reportedly has gone home to Australia to renew her travel visa, which also entails a 2-week isolation. According to PW Insider, given the current state of the world, there's no known timetable for her return, but given the different quarantines involved with international travel in each country, there is no real way for her to return in time for this week's scheduled NXT tapings in Florida, which will cover multiple episodes of the USA Network series. However, Dave Meltzer is reporting otherwise, stating that he hasn't heard anything about a visa issue. I'm double checking on this, but one person high up just denied this to me. Again, I'm not saying Mike Johnson of PW Insider is wrong. In this company, the left and right hand rarely know what the other is doing. But the person I checked with would know the creative reason given, which was Charlotte to NXT for ratings help. If we don't see the former NXT Women's Champion for a few weeks, we'll know who's right. Given the sketchy nature of the wrestling business, there's often a fine line between news and wild rumors. Next up, did the post-WrestleMania Raw ratings go up or down? The Raw after WrestleMania is arguably one of the biggest nights of the year for the Red brand, with the program typically pulling in big ratings thanks to casual fans tuning in along with regular fans. This year's Raw was no different in seeing a bump in the ratings, but it was nothing fantastic. According to PW Insider's Dave Shearer, the 6th April edition of Raw brought in 2.1 million overnight viewers, up from last week's 1.924 million overnight viewers. Let's take a look at the ratings breakdown by hour, along with the previous 2 weeks' ratings. The ratings were a nice bump from past weeks, but not as much as you think. Meltzer broke things down, noting, the viewers were up 9% from last week's record low, but there should have been a substantial increase coming off WrestleMania. It was down 29% from the 2.94 million viewers last year for the Raw after WrestleMania, but a huge drop from last year was a lock as well. The show was also up 19% from last week in the 18 to 49 demographic. On a brighter note, he pointed out, the good news is in the first to third hour drop, which had been near record levels the past 2 weeks, was 17%. That's still significant, but it was greatly alleviated by the Drew McIntyre vs Big Show match, which ended the show with strong gains. The reality is that the ratings for the Performance Center shows are likely going to be less than normal. However, as we pointed out, the WWE can improve its weekly television with more competitive matches, something which may bring in more viewers than the squash matches we've seen far too much of. Next up is WWE going on a taping spree. Right now it's difficult to figure out when live events will return. Although WWE Hall of Famer and US President Donald Trump has spoken with a number of commissioners and executives from Major League Sports as well as Vince McMahon, There's some talk that we may not see live events until August. So what does that mean for the WWE's next pay-per-view Money in the Bank? They're still advertising it for 10th May, but did not have the location advertised. However, according to PW Insider, internally that pay-per-view is still slated for Baltimore, Maryland, but it's being seen as more and more likely that the Money in the Bank pay-per-view event will be shifted to another location. If the WWE feels comfortable shooting WrestleMania at an empty arena, why wouldn't they run a B-show in an empty arena? Like AEW, the WWE doesn't seem to be leaving anything to chance. Recently, WrestleVotes reported the WWE was going to shoot its weekly television live from an undisclosed location. However, Ringside News is reporting, we previously reported that WWE plans on filming a ton of content starting on Thursday. They will tape for 6 days straight, or at least that is the current plan. It was rumored that WWE considered airing live episodes along the way as part of that Performance Center filming. Those plans could not come to fruition. Ringside News has learned that WWE has no plans of doing any shows live during this upcoming block of television tapings. While WrestleVotes is a reliable source, common sense dictates that WWE would want to get as much television time taped as possible, much as AEW reportedly did. The promotion is rumored to have enough content to run into mid-May. Next up, WWE safety steps. Not too long ago, we discussed the extra steps the WWE was taking to sanitize the Performance Center, including using special cleaner and special ultraviolet lights. Now PW Insider has revealed even more measures being taken, saying the company will change the ropes, turnbuckles, canvas and aprons in between matches, as well as do a complete sanitizing of the PC to ensure talent are kept healthy. If the WWE is taping so many shows, it makes sense they'll want to go overboard in sanitizing everywhere its personnel are. Next up, DDP praises the Firefly Funhouse match. Diamond Dallas Page has seen some of the biggest stars in wrestling during his career, so what does he think of WrestleMania 36's Firefly Funhouse match? Speaking on Wrestling Inc.'s daily podcast, he commented,
I was expecting some more cinematic stuff. That is kind of what I was looking for. It wasn't really that. That was like a Yoda. I'm sure a lot of people either hated that or loved it. For me, I kind of really liked it. First of all, I love Bray Wyatt. I got a ton of respect for Cena. I mean, the whole piece kind of like busted his chops big time. And he's such a great sport. And that's what a lot of people who don't like him don't get. That he's the real deal.
Page praised Cena for putting so many people over, including his SummerSlam match against Brock Lesnar, where he let the Beast dominate him for most of the match. The master of the Diamond Cutter also discussed Bray's work, comparing him to a WWE Hall of Famer.
Bray, he's right up there with any of the top performers I've ever seen in this business. And I like what he's doing right now. But the stuff, and he's still the other guy too. I got to add him to that list of guys. You say that's a bad motherfucker right there. And he reminds me in a very different way, but Bray Wyatt reminds me of Jake the Snake. Yeah. Where Jake was the most believable guy alive. The other stuff might be wrestling, but hey, if Jake Roberts gets in there, that's something that's bad. Yeah. Because everything Bray is doing is original. Mm-hmm. And he takes it with such commitment.
This isn't the first time Wrestlelamia has heard someone compare Wyatt to the legendary Jake the Snake Roberts. Page gushed with praise for Wyatt, noting how far he's come as a performer.
Like, he ain't going into it and half-assing it. Right. When he came out as Bray Wyatt, he was a different cat than when he left. And now, his new character is still Bray, but not. Right. It's got so many legs. So I really, I kind of like what they did because it wasn't you couldn't do it at WrestleMania. Yeah. But you could, and I was expecting more of that kind of stuff, to tell you the truth.
Fans are still talking about the Firefly Funhouse bout, and while there's confusion over exactly what happened, that's part of the fun with the otherworldly encounter. Be sure to check out our recent video with different perspectives on the match for more details. And finally, is The Undertaker retiring his Deadman persona? The Undertaker has hinted out recently on his Instagram that the Boneyard match could have been his last. He captioned his post with, "It was a hell of a ride," with the hashtag 30 years. What's next for him though? Well, according to WrestleVotes, whenever we see Taker next, it will be with his American Badass persona. He tweeted, "All indications from 3 different sources I've spoke to believe that whenever we see The Undertaker next, it will indeed be this new American Badass style Taker from the Boneyard match this past Saturday. Could this now indicate that he's no longer using his Deadman persona anymore? Taker in the past has talked about freshening up his gimmick and style, and he's been using that Deadman persona since 2004. Is it now time for a permanent change? What do you guys think? Should he keep to his American Badass style persona instead of the Deadman? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.